Okay then guys, welcome back for another YouTube video. Allincrypto here, and today, I'm sorry guys, but we are going to be talking about Quant Network once again. Quant just makes sense, put simply. And I've not heard anybody use this analogy for Quant and describe it in this kind of a manner. But Quant Network is going to be as transformative to the blockchain space, to crypto, because we've got many DAGs that are a whole separate thing that we're going to cover in later videos. But part of this kind of umbrella of crypto and this distributed ledger technology movement. Quant Network is going to be as transformative to this space as Google was to the internet. And I'm going to be breaking that analogy down for you to start the video off. And then we're going to be going down the deep rabbit hole of partnerships and areas and places where Quant has been mentioned, like by the World Bank, for example. Obviously, the Bank of International Settlements may have been, and we're going to play a clip for you of the Bank of International Settlements talking actually about potentially Quant. We know that Quant recently carried out Project Rosalind with the Bank of England, Barclays, MasterCard, Amazon, the Bank of Canada, and also recently was sort of praised, if you will, by the Bank of International Settlements in regards to being very innovative in relation to Project Rosalind. So we've got a deep rabbit hole to get down. But the first thing that I really want to do is just start this video off with kind of our analogy of Quant and why it's such a big deal. You know, I was a very early investor in Chainlink because it made sense, right? Blockchains were this kind of separate thing from the real world, and there wasn't really a bridge in regards to data into them and until Chainlink came around. Quant is very different in what it's trying to do, but similar in how innovative it is to this space. It will not allow necessarily data into the space like Chainlink did with their Oracle solutions, but real world applications into the space. And what do I mean by Quant is the Google of blockchain? It is the search engine, perhaps. Search engine is definitely not the right term, but it is as transformative as Google was to the Web 2 world. If you think about, and we have a very comparable space to blockchain, but I actually think blockchain could be on perhaps a greater scale in terms of value that it's actually going to capture. If you think about the internet when it first came out, and you had all these websites, and these websites you can think of almost similarly to blockchains. They kind of existed on their own, if you will. You know, they were islands, and you had to go to that specific website, and you had to know the address, so on and so forth. Or it was advertised. You know, you read it on a newspaper or the back of a phone book, whatever it may be. Blockchain is quite similar in the sense that they exist on their own, and right now there isn't one interface that you can go to that you can essentially search, the wrong terminology, but utilize the entire web. Okay? So Google did that for Web 2. You can come to a one-stop shop. It's why Google is so massive and revolutionary. You can come to a one-stop UI interface where you can gain access to the whole of the internet, obviously barring the dark web. Quant is that for blockchain. And what is the value of that when we know the entire world is going to be ran on the blockchain? Everything is going to be tokenized. Everything is going to be digitalized. Your identity, your property, everything, for good or bad. There are going to be casualties of it, and I do think surveillance and government control is one. However, as an investor, we look for opportunities, and I do believe that Quant is exactly that. And I want to know, I've not seen anybody else use this analogy, what you guys think about our comparison here with, it's very obvious they're different things entirely, but in terms of bringing this technology together, Google brought Web 2 together, Quant's bringing Web 3 together in the forms of one UI where you can gain access to the whole of it. I thought it was a rather brilliant analogy. We've not seen anybody else use that. And of course, this is a kind of visual representation of the Quant Overledger system. Of course, you've got the Quant Network, which just consists of the people using it. And then you've got access to basically everything. You've got multi-chain apps, which are going to be very interesting. We yet to even see this take place. I'm going to be doing a video actually covering, I've been using ChatGPT a lot, and it's amazing. It's scary. You can literally ask it to code up an entire website for you. What happens when we can do that with smart contracts and it becomes capable enough to do that? You know, very interesting, these kind of two revolutionary technologies coming together and combining. That's something we'll be covering on the channel in a lot more detail. I want to start with Gilbert Verdrin. We've looked at this before. We're going to look at it again. This is the man for the job in regards to a blockchain project, and certainly Quant Network. You know, his experience is vast. Of course, he's the CEO and founder of Quant, Chief Information Security Officer at CISO. He's the CIO interim at the NSW Ambulance, Chief Information Securities Officer. He's the Director of Cybersecurity, Security Lead at the Ministry of Justice UK, the Integrated Supply and Trading Digital Securities at BP, Security Project and Programs at HSBC. He's the CSO and Deputy CTO Officer of the CTO at HM Treasuries, so Majesty's Treasuries, boo. Senior Manager Security at EY, so on and so forth. At EY, of course, is Ernst & Young, consultant. The list is endless. You know, this is his experience. And of course, voluntary work, the member on the board of directors for the Digital Plan Foundation, Federal Payments Improvement Community, Federal Reserve System, the CMORG Cyber, which is the Bank of England, Security Payment Task Force, ISO Standard founder, so on and so forth. This is the man for the job, ladies and gentlemen. EU blockchain observatory and forum member. It's no surprise that Quant Network is basically being used and utilized by all of the big players out there, given this man's background. And I want to dive down a little bit of a rabbit hole. Shout outs again to constructiontrader.eth, which is C_traders. This guy drops alpha in regards to Quant Network on his Twitter. Well worth a follow, guys. More documents here confirming the importance of Quant's Overledger. This time it's from the World Bank website itself. And of course, I did ask for the link and he did link it down below. Application layer adapters. In order to facilitate the development of applications that may run on multiple blockchains, an abstraction layer can be created so that the business functions of the underlying blockchains can be exposed as common APIs. A blockchain agnostic smart contract language can be another alternative to code business logic and map the different underlying blockchain platforms. DAML is a smart contract language that enables distributed application development without having to decide what blockchain or distributed ledger platform to use. The creator of DAML digital asset is working with partners to have DAML based applications run on Corda, Hyperledger, Fabric, or Sawtooth, VMware blockchain, and other platforms. Vuton's technology exposes blockchain, specifically smart contracts, as common APIs, making it possible for applications to be built without having to target any particular blockchain network. Each API is mapped to the underlying blockchain smart contract function, which will execute on a specific blockchain. Vuton certainly supports Hyperledger, Fabric, Alastria, Quorum, and Ethereum. The Overledger platform by Quant connects various blockchain networks as well as legacy systems. The platform provides a blockchain agnostic operation system for business applications to run. It currently supports Hyperledger, Fabric, Corda, Ethereum, Bitcoin, IOTA, EOS, and Ripple, either permissioned or permissionless, and provides Java and JavaScript SDKs for developers to develop applications to run on the platform. Quant Network uses its own DApp technology, multi-blockchain dApps or MApps, liquidity providers to run time middleware, and developer SDKs to enable development. Wow. I mean, I don't even need to say anything after that. Let's move on. This was from Token Sir. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Go and give the gentleman a follow. We're going to do that now. And of course, leave a like on this. Always give credit where credit's due. You know, there's lots of people that work very hard to try and find this stuff. And Twitter is one of the best places for information. It's also one of the worst. But that's like everything, I guess. The internet was both amazing and horrific for humanity. But hey ho. So this is the UKRLN is likely to use blockchain. Part of the discovery phase work includes comparing whether to adopt a centralized or a decentralized technology, arriving at a preference of DLT. The reasons given were tokenization, integration, transparency, and privacy. A range of technologies were assessed, including Corda, Adara, Millicent, Quant, Polygon, Canton, Settle, and Nox. They also analyzed others such as Quorum, Parity, and Hyperledger Bijou. However, the partnership didn't share any decisions on the technology. We believe that Settle with City ordinates the RNL concept, so on and so forth. So lots going on, guys. Quant is consistently being mentioned. It's why we're highlighting it on the channel. I'd love and leave you on a clip from the Bank of International Settlements actually potentially calling out Quant. And then we'll talk about why I think they are talking about Quant in this video. Let's go ahead and play the clip.
And additional work, which you can read about in the chapter by various central banks, show that retail CBDCs hold similar promise as these retail fast payment systems, particularly if they're designed with interoperability and financial inclusion as the key goals. Now, we started with a tree as the organizing metaphor, but when we zoom out, we get to the canopy of the forest, where the tree branches meet. And the canopy actually embodies an important additional component of the future monetary system in the form of so-called multi-CBDC platforms. And such arrangements bring together CBDCs from several central banks, all transacting on the same platform. Now, these arrangements involve more than one central bank and therefore more than one currency. And this is why such arrangements are typically governed as DLT platforms. So this is a view of the canopy from above. And the BIS Innovation Hub has coordinated trials of several multi-CBDC platforms. And in a new report that was published at the same time as the annual economic report, it draws initial lessons on the design and implementation of these multi-CBDC platforms. The early trials open the prospect of examining examining richer ecosystems with a diverse range of private sector service providers. Of course, the full extent of possible innovations is difficult to foresee. But one thing is for sure, all of them will be supported by the tree, firmly rooted in the ultimate settlement on the central bank's balance sheet. So let me conclude. Central banks, as guardians of the monetary system, are embarked on a long journey in fulfilling the vision of the future monetary system. And here the objective is to put in place the arrangements that anticipate future developments rather than merely to react to past developments. So while the crypto universe is gripped by turmoil and attracting all the headlines, it is incumbent on us in the central bank community to look beyond the headlines and to think about these longer-term goals. Thank you very much.
Very interesting. Are they talking about Quant? And are they going to use Quant? I believe they absolutely are. Why do I believe that? Well, because Quant has already worked with the likes of the Bank of International Settlement, Bank of England, so on and so forth. This was essentially Gilbert highlighting the Bank of International Settlements and their rating of Project Rosalind to the highest level of complexity. Quant is built different, and it makes the hardest form of interoperability easy. Game changer. And you can see here, this is from the Bank for International Settlements. That's all I've got for you guys. I do apologize for the slew of Quant content, but I do think it's a game-changing crypto project. It's not a crypto. And ultimately, I think it is as transformative to the Web3 space as Google was to Web2. On that note, I'm going to leave you. Like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon, and I'll see you in the next one.